Here at E3, it's Assassin's Creed 3. I'm your host, Chris Waters, and joining me on stage is Alex Hutchinson, creative director, and Johnny Chiodini, video producer for Gamespot UK, and a huge fan of the Assassin's Creed series, as I'm told.
Definitely, yes. Good, that's what we like, fans.
And you generated a lot yesterday. You guys were in 2 press conferences showing an extended demo of some that involved wolf fighting.
Yes, animal death. There was a lot of animal death.
Animal death and skinning and redcoat fighting, and then high seas action. I think that was the one that surprised most folks was, oh, we're taking a trip down the Caribbean.
Yeah, I think, you know, we do so much press and we talk about the game so often that, you know, secrets are fun. So I was very happy with the team and everyone involved that we managed to not tell anybody about the naval segment of the game until we're there. And we've actually got a couple of secrets we're holding back until release. I have a big debate going with various people saying there should be a chunk of the game that you never ever see. I grew up before the internet, and you had to go and ask someone at school if you wanted to know what was in the game. I really like the idea that people are going to put the disc in the tray and think they've seen everything, but they haven't.
And that's certainly been a theme throughout Assassin's Creed is, you know, you get a good look at what it's all about, but man, surprises and twists and turns and deeper intrigue, that's like your bread and butter over there.
Yeah, and scale this year. Really what we're talking about as much as possible is, you know, we have winter and summer, we have the frontier, we have Boston, we have New York. Now everybody knows that we have the naval. We're trying to really blow the doors off open world games. You know, it's the benefit of having an engine that's been around a while, a team that's experienced, a franchise that's going strong. So this is our chance, hopefully, to put a nail in this generation of consoles.
We're very excited, and of course, so now we're in the woods and on a mission to get some animal skins.
Yeah, so what we wanted to show in the demo, really, to talk about it a little differently than we usually do, is kind of to show the open world nature of the game. So, you know, demos are very linear, you show the same things, they're very quick and punchy, but the joy of the game, hopefully, is that there are all these secondary activities you can get caught up in. So, obviously, there's hunting right now, which Francois is engaging in, and this is systemic stuff. So, there's a couple of dozen different species of animals that are everywhere, and you can choose to get involved or not involved. And then as Francois goes into the little camp below, you'll see him sort of gaining a side quest and finishing another side quest. So we just wanted to give you a sense of hopefully how the game will actually roll out.
And now we've seen the bow obviously busted out, and of course that iconic tomahawk. Efren Javier, Javier, I think I'm butchering his name, asking a question about the tomahawk replacing. Is that replacing the hidden blade? Is that the primary assassination tool? And do you use that in hunting at all?
Yeah, you can absolutely. I mean, we had a big debate about that, about assassinating wolves and bears and things.
And as you can, we just saw right there.
You just saw it. So, and you saw it there. He used the hidden blade. So we wanted an iconic weapon for Connor, and the tomahawk was a perfect fit. But he absolutely still has his hidden blades. There's some updates you'll see when you play it. One is that he's dual wielding, so all the combat later in this demo is both tomahawk and hidden blade, and he can sort of flick it out and spin it and grab the hilt of it. So we wanted to keep it. It's obviously iconic and really cool, but we wanted to give it a spin that was specific to Connor.
And so Connor, obviously a man who's comfortable in the wilderness, Mar0044 is wondering about hunting food. Is it primarily quest-driven, or can you sort of get out there and like take down a buck and then like you've got your antler blade that you're jabbing in someone's neck?
We got a couple of months left. I guess that's a good idea. It would be nice to have an antler blade. No, we wanted it sort of mostly quest. It's obviously also part of the economy, so you can sell the items that you gather, and depending on how you hunt them, so whether you shoot an animal or you use your hidden blade, you get different loot. So basically, you can imagine it's kind of like if I shoot a bear with a buckshot, I'm going to get a much worse skin than if I actually assassinate it and then take it in. So yeah, but the driving force is often quests or some of the side tasks, some of the clubs. The hunting club has a lot of that in it.
But you are saying here that there is incentive to assassinate bears.
Yes,
as
absolutely.
if we needed any.
Yes, but also I think it's just fun because then you have to, instead of just running up to animals and shooting them at a distance, you actually have to sort of plan your approach. They startle easily, so you have to kind of sneak up. So at first, you know, some people on the team thought it sounded a bit funny, that idea of assassinating a bear, but what we mean is sort of the stealth approach.
Sure.
So it's a risk and reward kind of thing.
Exactly.
Assassinating a bear quite tricky?
It's exactly it. It's not so much risk and reward. I mean, you're the assassin, you're still very powerful, but it is challenge and reward. So if you do it the harder way, get up in there and close and personal, then you'll get better stuff.
Okay, cool.
Now here we see him. We're infiltrating a fort of redcoats, the British, Johnny's ancestors, perhaps.
Yep.
Now, this is something we're joking about in the GameSpot office because we have a whole UK contingent here from GameSpot UK offices. This demo was focusing a lot on antagonizing the British, but when you're igniting a revolution, as you guys are saying, you got to get both sides riled up, right?
Yeah, it's a really tricky one. We've sort of tried to find a way to message it, and obviously in all of our communications it's always redcoats, because if you've got a 30-second TV spot or even a 4-minute demo, you need someone who looks always the same, who's going to play the role of the enemy. But
and those Minutemen just really did not have it together,
they didn't
dressed alike.
Not the right outfits, really. Yeah. And red on snow just looks too juicy. You know, it doesn't work.
Can't avoid it, yeah.
But in the game, you know, obviously the game takes place before, during, and after the revolution. And if you think about it, before the revolution, everybody's British. You know, even the Patriots, you know, all the they're all British. They're you know, it's a colony. So it's a funny question, and depending on how you approach it, yes, the only people you're killing are British, and technically everybody in the game is also British until the end of the revolution. But there are, you know, Patriot Templars and Loyalist Templars as well.
And you also have, you know, probably no Templars in the indigenous peoples, but the Native Americans are also, you'll encounter them throughout the adventure as well.
Yep, so you know, Connor is half Native American, half European. We wanted someone who was sort of one step back from the conflict. You know, everyone joked when we announced, oh, it's going to be like The Patriot, you know, starring Mel Gibson, and we were like, no, we definitely didn't want to make that game. But neither did we want to make a game where you were, you know, fighting for king and country. So we wanted someone who was a step removed, just like the Assassins are a step removed. So yes, Native American culture is a big part of our research and a big part of the game. The actor who's voicing Connor is Native American. We went through 200 or 300 actors to find someone who was cool. Weird side note, every Native American actor in America is in Twilight. That's what we figured out.
Really?
Yeah, we found one of the 3 who were not in Twilight. We cast him. And you know, we had consultants on board to help us with making sure the history was accurate. That, you know, even insignias we use, like to make sure that the Native American culture we're visually referencing is from the right part of the world and not from a different group in another part of America. So we hope people get a kick out of it.
Yeah, historical accuracy has always been sort of a point of pride for you guys in terms of the setting, and it's great to see that being replicated here as well. In terms of questions actually coming in from the chat, Klopjob wants to know if there are any sort of equivalents to the underground platforming levels in Assassin's Creed 2.
So there's sort of 2 parts to that. One is that idea that there are secret, you know, cities beneath the real cities. That's definitely coming back in a brand new mechanic that we actually haven't communicated about at all yet, and I kind of hope we don't. You know, it sort of defeats the purpose of a secret tunnel system if you tell everybody. You know, so hopefully people will find it. And then the other part, the idea of sort of structured platforming or structured, you know, level challenges is also coming back, but the 2 don't fit together. So there's a whole other set of challenges that will hopefully fulfill that need of being structured navigation and combat.
Excellent. In addition to the freeform navigation of a forest full of tree branches, which, I don't know about you folks, but that is one of the more impressive sort of feats of animation that I've seen here at E3. Do you guys just get a kick out of thinking about which... Do you have to go out into the forest and, like, actually swing around on trees?
We went on we started the game January 2010, so it's a scary long time ago now, and we did actually go to a few sort of climbing gyms and a few forest locations to play around with it. But it was funny when we started, everyone said, oh, Assassin's Creed is about climbing buildings, and what we thought was you can take it one step further back, and really Assassin's Creed is just about climbing. And so for me personally, coming onto the franchise, it was funny that the one thing I could climb in real life, which was a tree, was the one thing I could not climb in Assassin's Creed. So, you know, we thought we really want to blow it out and let you work with organic shapes and natural landmarks and cliffs and trees. And yeah, I think the guys have done an amazing job. So.
And speaking of climbing, the ship's rigging, of course, being another great target for that. And here we are checking out the Caribbean demo section that you showed off yesterday. Connor's dressed up a little bit. Spruced himself up, looking quite dapper.
Yeah, looking sharp. Well, it's a funny one, and it's another thing we've sort of been wrestling with, which, you know, we have this very iconic character who has, you know, the hood is very much part of the Assassin's mythos, and we believe we have one of the few characters in games where if we put out a poster, people say, oh, it's the Assassin. You know, and that's very difficult to build, and it's, you know, it's a lot of fun to play with. But as we move around different time periods, it's more or less appropriate. So while we're keeping it obviously for the core outfit, and we did find references of hunters and trappers in the 18th century with white hoods, believe it or not. So there are actual period reference. When he does other things that are a bit different, like the naval sections, we wanted a different outfit.
Of course.
Got to have a hat when you're on a boat. Look, he's on a boat.
Now, as he sort of navigates through, I think it's a good time for Lulmont's question, asking about the Wii U version of Assassin's Creed 3 revealed this morning during Nintendo's press conference. Are there sections like this where maybe, you know, you've got like, are there different sort of gameplay features that take advantage of the gamepad? Maybe a cannon loading something on the tablet?
Well, so I think the best thing about the current state of the console business is, for once, it's the same on every... You know, we can have a 360, PC, PS3, Wii U version where it's the same game. So we can make one game to ship for everyone. So that's the first strength of it. But yeah, we have a couple of custom features for the Wii U. You'll always have your map visible, so you have a really big, clear map.
Nice.
To see where you're going. And you can switch weapons, you can sort of switch tools on the tablet as well. So yeah, there are some custom features for the Wii U.
But that map being such a crucial part of the game, and having that taken off the screen and put it on the tablet, just makes that HUD much cleaner.
Yep, we did a lot of HUD work. I think you probably saw at the Ubisoft demo, but the HUD used to be all around the screen, you know, and we all pulled it down to the bottom as much as possible to sort of free up the top of the screen. So hopefully it's cleaner and a little simpler.
Mm-hmm.
But, you didn't feel pressure at all to tack on any kind of more ambitious, like, motion gimmicks, like, say, you know, like aiming with a cannon or something like that? That wasn't a...
Yeah, I mean, we're in that sort of challenging spot where the game is so monstrous, and just we're trying to jam in all the content and polish it and make sure it's you know, as amazing as possible, that we just wanted to get sort of one unified game up and running.
Staying classy, if you will.
Yeah, stay classy.
Okay.
Always staying classy.
Nothing classier than killing the British.
A pertinent question here from Steadmister, given the nautical scenario we find ourselves in. Is Connor a swimmer? Can he still swim around?
He can swim around, yes. Like, we kept all of the swimming, and there's actually, even on the boat, you'll see that you're actually on the boat. So, you know, we wanted to be very clear that you are the character driving the boat and giving orders, and it's not an RTS game, it's not a simulation so much. It's still a third-person action adventure about navigation and combat as well. So, yeah, Connor can still swim.
Excellent. Although this does not look like a swim-friendly place.
No, I would not swim in those seas.
A naval battle in high seas at night. I really like it when they break out the chain shot.
Yep.
Because that's, of course, just for taking out the rigging, and you know the boarding is coming.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure again that it was still third person, so that's why we ended the demo with Connor boarding, even though we didn't show the boarding gameplay, just so that people know that this is a core feature of the game. It's knitted into the core mechanics of the game, and it's not, you know, it's not this thing on the side.
Now, I know you've been working on this since 2010, but I've heard a few people already kind of comparing these gameplay sections to the tower defense bits in Revelations. How does it compare? Is it kind of along the same lines in terms of structure, or is it more freeform?
No, it's. I think the two big differences is that the tower defense was a strategy game inside an action game, whereas this is an action game inside an action game. And the other part is that the tower defense sort of popped up as a drag mechanic, so when you'd made a mistake, whereas this is all positive. So there's story reasons for why you take to the seas, story reasons for how you get involved in it, and it is its own side story.
Nice.
I just love seeing those long muskets come out. They're always longer than I think they should be, like so impractically long. And then, of course, which makes closing distance with that hatchet so much more satisfying. Alex, thank you so much for coming by and showing off some Assassin's Creed 3. This is obviously one of the games that people are super excited for here at E3. And you just saw there, October 30th?
October 30th.
2012.